Works for us. So, but let's go to the phones. Calling from a 210 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Good afternoon, Sam. This is John from San Antonio.
John from San Antonio. How are you, John?
I'm good. So today, Florida will hold its primary, and brand new Congress endorsed Jen Perlman is running in the 23rd District of Florida against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Perlman has raised over $320,000. And then you had an interview with Perlman for Ring of Fire, which originally aired on October 11th of last year.
Yep.
So she's got a little controversy with Wasserman Schultz supposedly pushing one of the volunteers from Perlman on Saturday. So hopefully we'll see an upset there. So in the 6th District, 28-year-old Richard Thripp, who endorsed Our Revolution, is endorsed by Our Revolution Florida, the leading Democratic fundraiser, and has raised over $108,000. This Central Florida district is currently represented by Republican Michael Waltz, who won his district by 13 points in 2018. The 20th district is a majority black district and is currently represented by 83-year-old Alcee Hastings, who's been serving longer than any Floridian in Congress. Progressive Sheila Sherphillis McCormick has raised almost $70,000, and Hastings has raised under $500,000, which is extremely low for an incumbent. This could be a big upset, considering the recent boon for black progressive candidates. Progressive Albert Chester is challenging one of the most conservative members of the Democratic caucus, Al Lawson, in the 5th District. Both Lawson and Chester are black candidates in this Panhandle district where 48% of the population is black. In the 3rd District, 26-year-old Adam Christensen states on his website that he was ready to be a champion for the working class as a member of Congress. Christensen is second in fundraising in the race, and I hope he pulls off the upset. Republican Ted Yoho is retiring in this seat that he won by 15 points in 2018. The 21st District Majority Report listener Guido Weiss is running to unseat Luis Franco. You interviewed Weiss on Ring of Fire on May 29th. Sikana Latola is running against incumbent Frederica Wilson in the 24th District. Wilson has also had fundraising woes and has only raised $266,000. On her donor page, Latola states Sikana is challenging the corporate establishment to reshape the government to one that puts the people first. In Alaska, candidates from the Democratic, Libertarian, and Alaskan Independent Party appear on the same ballot, with the highest place for each candidate receiving the party nomination. Al Gross, who is a Democrat, who's running as a Democrat even though he calls himself an independent, has raised $5.2 million, and it was only down by 5 points to Republican incumbent Dan Sullivan. According to my numbers, this is number 10 of the 12 races where a Democrat is either has a lead or is down by 6 points or less. If the current polling holds up, I have Democrats winning in Arizona. These are Senate races, North Carolina, Colorado, Maine, and Iowa. That would give Democrats a 51-49 advantage in the Senate if Doug Jones loses in Alabama. 3 races are toss-ups in South Carolina, Kansas, and the Purdue race is a toss-up in Georgia. 4 more races lean Republican with polling leads between 4 and 6 points in Texas, Alaska, Mississippi, and Montana.
Boom.
There you have it.
Okay. So one of the things I was a few months ago, I was comparing this to is this going to be similar to the 2008 election as far as, down ballot and the lead by Biden? And I don't know. Things have tightened up a little bit, but you're seeing a lot of House races where not necessarily progressives, but other just regular main Democrats are having leads, and I think they can come really close to the number they had at the end of after the 28 House race. I mean, I don't think they're going to hit 60 like they had, in the Senate after 2008. But I'm very hopeful. One thing about the convention also is that they are really neglecting younger voters by not promoting progressives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty obvious fact. But I mean, if you look at the ways that Biden can lose, I mean, I think it's the main thing in my book is are progressives going to turn out? I mean, because usually, historically, that's the biggest margins, no matter, whether it's they've all been pretty much moderate candidates anyway, but they all come from younger voters. I mean, the margins are huge among younger voters, and then older voters usually have a tendency to go Republican. And I mean, even in the Clinton election in 2016, it was that way, but not as much as Obama. And so, are the younger voters going to turn out for Biden? I mean, that's the biggest question.
Yeah,
in my mind.
let me take issue just with you saying progressives. I think younger people are, for the most part, far more progressive than older folks. But the question isn't whether they're coming. I think it's really just about, are they excited? Are young people being talked to? And I think the idea that you would not put on AOC, who is the most electric politician that has shown, just put aside for a second ideology, the most electric politician the Democrats have had since Barack Obama gave his speech in 2004, which launched him, incidentally, right? I mean, everybody remembers that. And to not use that is such a waste, it seems to me. To not utilize that huge asset you have just seems sort of shocking to me. The only thing I can imagine is that they're terrified of empowering those folks, although I don't know why that would empower them. They don't want her more popular, but she's a juggernaut. You're not going to stop her from being popular. Or they're just young people are not going to watch this convention anyways. And the one line about AOC is great is not going to do anything. People already think she's great. I mean, that's the only thing I can imagine.
I mean, my thought is I just think that they're exercising whatever control they still have. It's very limited, and the demographics are the demographics, as you keep saying, time is time. And I think the perfect illustration of that is investing in Kamala Harris, who is young and sort of speaks enough to the next generation in some ways, at least identity-wise, that she could potentially keep power for 12 years for the neoliberals as they fight demographics, just as the Republicans do. I mean, this is the Republican strategy. Gerrymandering and stacking the courts and everything like that is all a fight against time for them because they just don't have the numbers.
John, appreciate the phone call.
Great insights.
All right, thank you.